Hello. Today I'm going to be talking about mental illness and the negative stigma associated with it. Do you know if you're mentally healthy? What defines a person as mentally healthy? If you found yourself feeling hopeless and alone, would you know how to seek help? These are a few questions I hope to answer today. Being mentally healthy is defined as the emotional and psychological well-being of a person who is able to cope with stress, interact with others, and perceive one's surroundings realistically. This does not mean that they do not have a mental disorder. It means that they are properly coping with stress. Mentally unhealthy people do not properly cope with stress. In my experience as a student nurse, I realized that my previous ideas about mental health were inaccurate. There are many reasons for a negative stigma towards mental illness. Some common stereotypes are being violent, unpredictable, or incapable of functioning independently. People with a mental illness are treated as if they are responsible or weak because they experience one. In order to change your negative views toward mental illness, it is important to have contact with that group and to use non-stigmatizing language. Just as the person with diabetes would not be called a diabetic, a person with schizophrenia would not be called a schizophrenic. These are not the only identities these people have. In order to make a social change, there needs to be a positive media portrayal of those with mental illness. The reason for mental illness is the combination of a stressor and a familial background towards mental illness. The stress in the brain causes a chemical imbalance, and that chemical imbalance causes feelings associated with that chemical. Learning about the causes, feelings, and recovery of mental illness can help us become less prejudiced against those experiencing it. The negative stigma towards mental illness can be defined as a mark of shame, disgrace, or disapproval that results in an individual being rejected by others. There are 3 types of stigma we'll talk about today. First is public stigma, being publicly marked. Many people feel as if they will be judged if they are open and honest about their feelings. For many people, this is a true statement, and they cannot share their feelings without feeling judged. This is a problem because in order to become mentally healthy, it involves a proper support group of people around you. Perhaps those who do not accept you should not be in that support group. Self-stigma refers to a negative stereotype being internalized. This is a problem because feeling shameful about your feelings is detrimental to one's confidence and self-worth. Label avoidance is another type of stigma, and where people avoid treatment because they do not want to be labeled as a person with a mental illness. This poses a problem when trying to correctly diagnose and treat those with mental illness. Depression and other illnesses are products of an imbalance in neurotransmitters that communicate messages throughout the brain and spinal cord. An imbalance in one chemical can cause symptoms of depression or anxiety, perhaps schizophrenia or bipolar disorder. Technically, mental disorders are a problem with the physical chemicals in the body. Shouldn't they be treated the same as physical and mental problems throughout society? Finally, we have the goal of recovery. When an individual seeks treatment, there are certain goals that need to be obtained to become mentally healthy. Those who overcome their negative feelings about therapy or rehab have the opportunity to recover and become more fulfilled and happier members of society. People who contribute to society reduce the global burden of mental health issues. Recovery is seen as a step-by-step process which is non-linear because there are setbacks just as there are setbacks in life. In conclusion, the negative stigma surrounding mental illness places a dark cloud over seeking help and becoming healthier. Avoiding treatment and not being able to seek treatment are public issues that need to be addressed. Why should there be public concern for mentally ill? Because 1 in 4 people experience a mental illness in any given year. Hopefully this statistic motivates you to think of others and become more understanding towards those facing a difficult road ahead. In conclusion, I hope you are better informed about the mental health and the negative stigma surrounding it. My goal was to eliminate the negative stigma you might have and have a good day. Thank you.